Tonight on DC News Now, 3 shootings involving the Secret Service in the last month. The questions being raised about security in the nation's capital, what the agency is doing to address these concerns.
The mayor's push to extend curfew zones in the district to prevent what she calls dangerous teen takeovers.
When you get large gatherings of kids like that, 100, 200, 300, that are just completely wilding out.
The parents pushing back, saying their families being targeted.
Out there for your Wednesday, tracking more wet weather. This time, though, some thunderstorm chances. The latest timing and when we see sunshine return coming up.
New evidence revealed in the high-profile case of a missing mother from Northern Virginia.
Even though the days tick by, we're holding hope that justice will be served through the court system.
We break down the new court filings and what they could mean ahead of trial.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. A spray of gunfire in 3 different attacks involving Secret Service agents in 30 days. 2 innocent bystanders are shot. They're all raising new questions about security in the nation's capital. Most recently, agents killing a Baltimore County man who fired at the White House security checkpoint.
DC News Now's Ben Dennis live outside the Washington Hilton, where the first of these shootings unfolded. So, Ben, the Secret Service is responding to your questions on how they're assessing the potential threats. What are they telling you?
That's right. This very hotel where I'm standing was the same one where President Reagan was shot. Just 1 month ago, it became the location of a brand new Secret Service investigation during the White House Correspondents Center. An armed suspect sprinted through the lobby. Ever since that incident right here, 2 more shootings involving agents since, well, the Secret Service tells me they're constantly monitoring threats. Who knows what they're looking at specifically now? Let's backtrack from the Washington Hilton, April the 25th, during the Correspondents' Dinner, to near the Washington Monument, where agents shot a man who allegedly shot toward undercover agents May the 4th. And most recently, outside of a White House security checkpoint on 17th in Pennsylvania, where a man reportedly shot toward officers. Now, 2 bystanders were hurt in these high-profile shootings. The Secret Service tells me they dedicate significant resources to find threats and stop them before they unfold near the president, his family, or top officials. They also highlight their National Threat Assessment Center. That studies behaviors and warning signs associated with targeted violence. And in light of all these recent shootings, I asked a former agent if the service may be considering right now how they investigate and how they respond.
Are these latest threats prompting the agency to review how they operate?
Anytime you have three shootings involving agents in a short period of time, the agency is going to conduct a very serious review of tactics, intelligence, and even protective operations. It does not automatically mean the Secret Service is going to have failed or something has gone wrong. And in many cases, as you're seeing, the incidents are actually a success. They have to get everything right all the time. The bad guys only have to get something right once.
A lot at stake, we know it. The Secret Service also tells me agents are regularly deployed around the country, around the world to investigate concerning information before situations escalate. Tonight, it is also still unknown whether the 2 people, innocent bystanders who were hit by bullets, were shot by rounds that came from the Secret Service or by those who are accused in these threats. All this is still currently under review. Much more coming up at 10 o'clock on DCW 50. Outside of the Washington Hilton in Northwest, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.
All right, no room for error there, Ben. Thank you so much. A mystery in Northern Virginia. Police are looking for a man who picked up a woman lying in the road last Thursday and drove off. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office saying that the witnesses reported seeing a woman in the road at the intersection of Farmwell and Hemingway Drive there in Ashburn. They say a man pulled up in a black 2014 GMC, put her in the truck, and left the scene. Investigators are looking into what led to the woman being there in the street in the first place. If you have any information, you are urged to call police.
And in Fairfax County, police are searching for the driver in a deadly hit-and-run crash in the Seven Corners neighborhood. Here's an image of that car on your screen. You can see it here. Police say just before 1:30 this morning, that driver hit a man crossing the street and then took off. It happened here at the intersection of Arlington Boulevard and Patrick Henry Drive. Fairfax County police say if you recognize the car, please reach out to them.
All right, my friends, we are heading to midweek, and we have been in this pattern of dreary weather, although I know we need the rain.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Jackie, we're not going to be out of this pattern, at least for a little while.
Yeah, just a little bit longer. I would say through tomorrow, we still have some more wet weather on the way. As we look towards Thursday and Friday, that's when we see more sunshine. So at least we have that to look forward to later this week. But yes, we do need that wet weather. We're still dealing with some of those raindrops for parts of the region right now. But not only that, we're also dealing with some reduced visibility too, especially back out towards the Shenandoah Valley, where we do have some areas of patchy dense fog. We are down to about a mile or less out towards Woodstock, and we could be dealing with these numbers kind of lowering through the overnight. So watch out for any of that patchy dense fog into your Wednesday morning commute. A wider view showing us some of this wet weather that's down across southwestern Virginia. That's going to continue to lift its way in. So through the overnight, still be dealing with some more rain chances, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder potentially. But as we look towards tomorrow afternoon, a better chance for some rumbles of thunder, especially in those areas shaded in yellow on your screen. Those are the areas that are under a slight risk for your Wednesday afternoon and evening. That slight risk is 2 out of 5 on that severe scale. Could be dealing with some stronger wind gusts with any of those thunderstorms. Also some more heavier rainfall too. That could limit visibility. Could also create some localized flash flooding too. So I'll go over the details, the timing, and what you can expect coming up.
All right, looking forward to that, Jackie. Thank you. New tonight, police in Western Maryland are investigating a deadly shooting. Hagerstown police have found the man shot right near Security Road last night. They rushed him to the hospital where he later died. The investigation and the search for the suspect continues. Now to a 19-year-old who will spend the rest of his life in prison for killing 2 teens outside a Maryland mall last year. The Howard County judge sentencing Edmondson Zia to life without parole, plus an additional 70 years. This was a bench trial, so the judge making the decision earlier this year and finding the teen guilty of killing Michael Robertson and Blake McCrae when he opened fire in a parking lot and bus stop there at the Mall of Columbia, killing the 16 and 15-year-olds.
The mayor of the district defending the need for curfews, even as families east of the river are growing concerned over the latest federal proposal to target parents. It was a focus at a luncheon where Mayor Muriel Bowser was left towing a very fine line. DC News Now's Mariel Carbone tells us how she's defending her stance to parents in hard-hit Navy Yard.
The mayor really trying to talk through some of the concerns of parents. On the one hand, she says that she is not trying to criminalize teens or their parents. On the other hand, she says parents need to know where their teens are, specifically pointing to the viral brawl that happened here at the Chipotle. For Ward 8 mother Robin McKinney, U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro's new threat to punish parents whose kids break curfew is causing some anxiety.
I was very kind of scared and nervous when she spoke about that.
A mother of 7, she says many parents are doing everything they can, working 2 jobs to make ends meet with little support.
A lot of times people think when your children get in trouble or they're out there doing something, they automatically think that the parent doesn't work, it's a broken household, and that's not the case.
It's a concern she brought to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
So I hear accountability for parents. What do these parents do that ask for help?
I actually think that we have a missing link in our system.
Friday, the mayor issuing a public emergency, allowing her to impose extended juvenile curfew zones over the next 15 days. Zones were established in Navy Yard, U Street, and more over the holiday weekend.
They're not all criminals. Most of them aren't. But when you get large gatherings of kids like that, 100, 200, 300, that are just completely wilding out. That video you saw from Chipotle, that's not the first time I've seen that video.
At an Anacostia Coordinating Council luncheon, the mayor calling on parents to know where their kids are.
Can make sure our children are in a safe place.
I am that mom that is worried that one day I might be in a newspaper, oh, commissioner's son out here, blah, blah, blah.
But some parents, like ANC Commissioner Ashley Ruff, says teen programming isn't as readily available as leaders say.
A lot of our kids can't get in them. Sometimes we can't afford those programs.
And the council did pass a permanent bill on the extended juvenile curfew zones that is currently under its congressional review period. Reporting from Navy Yard, Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Maryland's governor is signing more than 270 bills into law, from property tax credits, the Child Care Scholarship Program, along with one of the most high-profile new laws, which limits when law enforcement can wear a mask or face covering, including ICE agents. Governor Wes Moore's signature following months of discussion and heated debate. The new law takes effect October 1st. The governor also signed legislation to allow homes to be built near public transit.
Bills that will be signed into law today will allow us to open up more than 300 acres of land near transit, and we are going to build at least 7,000 new homes in Maryland on that land.
The governor also signing the youth charging reform. Under the new law, children older than 10 who are accused of certain serious crimes, including first-degree assault or some gun charges, will fall under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court system.
All right, the Wizards, they're not playing in the NBA Finals, not even close. But for the 18th year in a row, a former Wizard will be playing for a championship. The New York Knicks have Landry Shamet, Dylan Jones, and Trey Jemison on the roster. The Wizards, they have the worst record in the league this season, but with the #1 pick, team's certainly hoping they can turn it around next season. Let's hope so.
Let's talk about the Nats. Nats fans celebrating a mini milestone, and they won again tonight for the first time in 5 years. Since July of 2021, the Nationals have a winning record at this point in the season. Washington beating Cleveland last night, putting them over the 500 mark, and our partners at 106.7 The Fan taking to the streets for this short parade. They went down Half Street Southeast, appropriately named, 4 blocks over to Nats Park. They just beat Cleveland there, the Guardians. They're in Cleveland, 6-3 in Game 2 of the series.
Yeah, that's our 4th win of the in a row. So far, so good. And who knows? Keep these parades happening, right?
Every mini milestone that they
Absolutely.
achieve. All right.